not a government agency, yet we are always there. The Hawaii Red Cross needs your donation.
This room is always so full of positivity and love.
Turn on, Ellen. You will feel better.
I'm just loving this interview.
And now it's funny, right?
I am starstruck.
Being on one of your games is like my dream.
As long as you continue to have fun and play, it gets better and better. Amazing.
Ellen at 4 p.m., followed by KITV 4 Island News.
Before choosing someone to help you get Social Security disability benefits, ask if your attorney is in Hawaii. Mainland attorneys often just fly in on the day of your disability hearing. Aloha, I'm Danielle Beaver. People across Hawaii call me when they need disability income. I'm here in Honolulu, and Social Security disability is all I do.
808-537-9181. There's no fee unless you win. Attorney Danielle Beaver.
She was a rebel. Tell us amazing.
Why do you think your mom loves your little sister more than you?
A family torn to pieces.
She said, if you make this a choice between you and my new husband, I'm going to choose him.
You never choose a man over your kid.
I did it. Mom, yes, you did.
Can the truth team bring them together again?
Listen,
so here's what I hear that I should have just said, okay,
Child, I'm done.
Find out as they face the truth.
Face the Truth, today at 2 on KITV 4 Island Television.
For 50 years, Cracker Barrel has been cooking home-style favorites to perfection. We thought we'd celebrate by making our golden anniversary extra golden. Introducing new, crispy, juicy Southern Fried Chicken. Now at Cracker Barrel.
Now, from KITV 4 Island News, this is Good Morning Hawaii.
Coming up on Good Morning Hawaii, powerful winds in Dallas, enough to take down a crane. Witnesses describing the shocking scene that left one person dead. Plus, if you're heading out of town this summer, you might want to check those travel plans, the reason thousands of flights on American Airlines are being canceled. And supply running low here on Oahu when it comes to donated blood. Mackenzie Stasko will be live for us this morning with how you can help fill that gap. Good morning, Hawaii. Happy Monday. It's June 9th, 2019. But before we get to your top story, let's get a check on weather and traffic. We got the whole weekend squad here, but it is Monday if you're waking up and wondering what's going on.
That's right. We're just missing Lay, right? Well, time now 5 a.m. Right now, our temperatures here in town are already starting to warm up. We've got those at 73 degrees. Our wind speeds at the moment are calm, and we are expecting light and variable winds for our Monday. The good news is we've got our trades returning to us by tomorrow. We'll take a look across the state, though. We're right now our winds in the single digits, mainly for all of us. 5-mile-per-hour winds for Hilo, 7 over on Kauai. And we'll take a look at our temperatures right now. 73 degrees here in town, out in Kapolei. If you're waking up, 72, 66 for Lanai City, and 77 for Kailua Kona. Overall, our daytime high is going to be heating up today, pushing 90s for some parts of the state, but overall that high right around 89 degrees. Not much rain activity. We are seeing a few windward scattered showers. Let's take it island by island, though. For Kauai, you're waking up to pretty dry conditions, and overall for our Monday, we're looking at dry and stable conditions, with the exception of a few clouds and maybe some isolated showers developing over our leeward spots into the afternoon. Right now, we are seeing those windward areas, seeing some of that moisture, but into the afternoon, leeward areas could see some shower activity. Nothing major, though. We are looking at relatively dry conditions, like I mentioned, but into the evening, that should clear up. Thinking about heading outside, here's a checkup of the surf. 2 to 4 for south-facing shores, 2 to 3 out east and north, and 1 to 3 for our west-facing shores. Overall, our daytime highs 89 to 94 degrees. Sunshine this morning, turning partly cloudy by the afternoon. Our trades will remain light, so they're coming in variable, about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Overall, for the rest of the next 8 days, we do have our temperatures in the upper 80s. Our trades return by Tuesday. They're going to stick around, so it's going to be feeling nice. And then as we head into our weekend, those trades turning easterly, coming in about 10 to 25, so really ramping up. Things are going to feel comfortable as we head into the rest of our week. Just hang tight for one more day. That's a checkup of your weather. Let's take it out to the roadways with your traffic. No major accidents to let you know about. We're seeing green on our maps. Drive time 72 from Waianae, and if you're coming in from Eva Beach, you've got a 32-minute commute as you make your way in to Honolulu. Out on the roadways, H1 and Managers Drive, things are looking good. That zipper lane is open as you make your way in from the west side this morning. A little bit closer into town, let's take a look at Fort Weaver and Kolawaka, where we are starting to see some volume picking up as you make your way onto the freeway. H1 and Kunia Road, let's take a look at our cameras there. Things are still looking good there, and that H1 H2 merge starting to see a little bit more volume, but nothing is too congested yet. We'll take it out to the east side. Here's a look at Kalanianaole Highway, where roadways are clear this morning, and we'll take it out to the windward sides where we don't see too much traffic this morning. Things are looking good. That's a look at your weather and your traffic. Tom, over to you.
Thanks, Miko. Well, homeless in Kaka'ako say they want state land to live on. They want to set up their own community within the larger community here on Oahu. Kapo'eo Kaka'aho, or the people of Kaka'ao, says it hopes it's to start its own neighborhood watch program to cut down on crime as it builds its own sanctuary space. The group drafted rules and expectations. They're asking park residents to sign up if they want to move to a safe area if and when it becomes available. The group says it's working with Lieutenant Governor Josh Green to try and secure a parcel of land that they can move to. Now, they're modeling this community after one in Waianae, which is called Pu'uhonua o Waianae.
We work with them literally weekly to help give these guys tips. Oh, you know, here's how you do this, here's how you do this. So they're trying to build an intentional community like the one out in Waianae that can take care of themselves, offer healing, offer hope, and offer purpose.
Now, some of the homeless say living in a shelter means they have to leave behind a support system and belongings, while others feel they will be ending back up on the streets worse off than before. The city doesn't support the idea of safe zones and sanctuaries. Officials say the increase in unsheltered homeless actually increases the likelihood of their death. All right, well, the Blood Bank of Hawaii facing a supply shortage. KITV4's Mackenzie Stasko live for us on Yonge Street with more on why and how you can help. Good morning, Mackenzie.
Good morning, Tom. Well, when school is out for summer, the Blood Bank of Hawaii says that's when the state's blood supply begins to run low, and that's because high school donors make up 13% of all donations. Donations are used daily for surgeries, mothers delivering babies, cancer treatments, and organ transplants at hospitals across the state. The blood bank needs about 200 volunteer donors a day to keep up with that and to provide for the 18 hospitals here in Hawaii. It also wants to stock up in case a storm approaches the islands during hurricane season.
We're 3,000 miles from any landmass. We're incredibly vulnerable. And that's important to keep in mind, especially during hurricane season, because it's the blood on the shelf that saves lives. And it can't be grown on a farm. It can't be made in a lab. There's one source, and it's our amazing volunteer donors.
As you heard there, the Blood Bank of Hawaii relies on donors, and to donate blood, you need to be at least 16 years old, be in good health, and weigh at least 110 pounds. If you have a cold, the flu, AIDS, or hepatitis B or C, you are not eligible to donate. Now, the blood bank here on Yonge Street is open Monday through Friday from 6:30 in the morning to 6:30 at night, and Friday through Sunday from 6:30 in the morning until 4:30 at night. Again, the location is right here on Yonge Street. For now, Tom, we'll send it back to you inside.
Yeah, important to help out if you can. Thank you, Mackenzie. Well, we turn now to that crane collapse in Dallas, Texas that left one person dead and several others injured. It happened as near hurricane force winds hit the area there. One witness said the crane cut through the building like a knife through butter. Janae Norman has the latest.
This morning, a terrifying scene in Dallas.
Oh my God, the crane is falling over. Oh my God.
A massive crane crashing down, slicing through this 5-story apartment building. Emergency crews evacuating people inside, and part of that crane also slamming into a parking garage. Pictures from inside show several cars piled on top of one another, with search teams and dogs walking amid the rubble as they searched for any people who may be trapped.
Every single level of the parking garage, in part, has collapsed. We have no idea at this point whether any people were in those cars or just in that parking garage in general.
This man says he spotted his neighbor who was trapped in a car as it dangled over the edge of the collapsed garage.
Back of his window, just struggling. Me and one of my neighbors was like, yo, we got to get him out of there. Like, he's in a freaking car that's hanging, that's about to fall.
The crane collapsed as a ferocious storm moved through the area. Cameras captured the powerful winds pushing this billboard, damaging several cars below. Janae Norman, ABC News, New York.
And around the nation, American Airlines is canceling nearly 10,000 flights over the next couple months. The reason, Boeing 737 MAX planes have been ordered to remain grounded until September 3rd. The airline says they've made repairs to some software issues, but the FAA wants more time to approve those changes. 2 Boeing 737 MAX planes crashed earlier this year, killing hundreds of people. Well, time now 5:08. Oahu's high school graduation season has finally come to an end. When we come back, see why we're giving out 26 shakas to graduates of Hawaii's oldest girls' school. Stay tuned. Good Morning Hawaii. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Did you know that HECO's rates are continuing to go up? Did you know that federal tax credit for solar is going down soon? Did you know that Ponchos can build you an Outback off-the-grid system with average savings between $100 to $400? Larger systems are available. Did you know that Ponchos can build you a customized battery system for your home that can fit your needs and your budget? Did you know that you can start small and expand? Now you know. Ponchos Solar, locally owned and trusted statewide. Card reward, miles or cash?
Give me the cash.
Cash.
Definitely cash.
Miles expire.
Cash doesn't.
2% cash back on purchases or mostly 1%?
2%.
2%.
Is this a trick question?
Then there's unlimited rewards or lots of restrictions.
I'll take unlimited.
Unlimited?
Unlimited all the way.
Unlimited.
Get the new 2% unlimited cashback card. That's 2% on purchases everywhere, every time. From American Savings Bank. Real life, real answers.
Every day, visionaries are creating the future. So every day, we put our latest technology and unrivaled network to work. The United States Postal Service makes more e-commerce deliveries to homes than anyone else in the country. Because the future only happens with people who really know how to deliver it.
The signs are everywhere. Charles in Waipahu saved over $390. Lucette in Honolulu saved over $450. Call 92-DIETRICH and save.
Be a part of the legendary KSSK Saturday morning show at Jade Dynasty Ala Moana. Join Mike, Karen, and Sweetie for food, fun, music, and prizes. Call for your reservation, 550-9299.
Good morning, Hawaii, and welcome back. Happy Monday. We want to start off this weather with a gorgeous photo that was sent in from Rico yesterday at the King Kamehameha Parade. Nice conditions out there. We're looking at beautiful conditions for your Monday as well. Our current wind speeds staying on the lighter side, and that's going to be the case throughout our day. Right now, all in the single digits. Lots of sunshine this morning. Here's a look at Kauai's temperatures. Your northeast winds light and variable, so they are shifting out to the northeast as we head into the afternoon. A little more clouds developing into the afternoon hours. Those highs here in Honolulu getting up to 87 degrees. Again, lots of sunshine for Maui as well. Kahului, 89 degrees is what you're looking at right as we head into around 1 p.m. Those winds getting close to 20 miles per hour. For Hilo, you're seeing a bit more clouds, and right now you're waking up to some scattered showers. Those temperatures getting up to about 82 degrees. If you're thinking about hitting the water, definitely a great day to do so. 2 to 4 for south-facing shores, 2 to 3 out east and north, and 1 to 3 for our west-facing shores. No advisories or warnings to let you know about. Morning sunshine. We've got partly cloudy conditions as we head into the afternoon. Just a few trade showers, windward and Melco this morning, shifting to leeward and interior spots as we head into our day. Warm temperatures getting up to about 89, 90 degrees. Those winds not really giving us much relief as we head into our day, but our trades return by our Tuesday. That's a checkup of your weather. Let's take it out to the roadways with your traffic. We are taking a look at the roadways. This is Fort Weaver and Geiger Road. We're not seeing too much buildup here. Things are looking good all the way through Colawaka this morning. As you make your way onto the freeway, everything looking pretty slow going, actually. The camera's blurry, but you can see there is quite a buildup there. Closer to town, here's our H1, H2 merge, where we're starting to see that volume picking up. Everything is looking good as you make your way onto the H2. That's a look at Kauka and H2 northbound. Here's a look at the windward side before we go, and that camera is not working. We'll take it out to the Pali Highway and Puiva Road, where roadways are clear. That's a look at your weather and your traffic. Tom, I'll send it over to you.
All right, well, you know what that sound means. Time for our morning shakas, and today we're recognizing the final Hawaii High School class of 2019 who held their commencement ceremony last night. Take a look. Hey, don't stop believing, right? Those are the girls of Priory at St. Andrew's Schools. 26 young women dressed in white gowns to celebrate their graduation with family and friends. And at 152 years old, the Priory is Hawaii's oldest girls' school. The Outstanding Senior Scholar Award went to Natalie Wong, who told the class how she was left on the street in China when she was just a few months old. At the age of 2, she was adopted by parents who eventually enrolled her at the Priory. Congratulations to all of them, and be sure and send us your graduation pics, like this one of Cullen Pono, who graduated from Southern Methodist University. He's also a Kamehameha School Kea'au alum, class of 2015. So be sure and send us photos of any of your graduates from preschool all the way to grad school to pics at kitv.com, and you just might see it on air. Congratulations to all of them. Well, time now 5:15, and in other awards, the Tonys wrapped up last night. We'll show you the most theatrical moments from Broadway's biggest night. Stick around. It's all coming up after the break. Stay with us.
Technology should be simple. Simple to connect with, easy to talk to.
Hey, BMW, where can I park?
And a joy to drive. Don't be driven by technology, drive it. The all-new BMW 3 Series. Hurry in to lease a 2019 BMW 330i sedan for $389 a month.
So Jardiance asks, when it comes to type 2 diabetes, are you thinking about your heart?
Well, I'm managing my A1C, so I should be all set.
Right.
Actually, you're still at risk for a fatal heart attack or stroke.
Even if I'm taking heart medicine like statins or blood thinners?
Yep. That's why I asked my doctor what else I could do. She told me about Jardiance.
That's right. Jardiance significantly reduces the risk of dying from a cardiovascular event for adults who have type 2 diabetes and known heart disease. That's why the American Diabetes Association recommends the active ingredient in Jardiance.
And it lowers A1C.
Yeah, with diet and exercise.
Jardiance can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, genital yeast or urinary tract infections, and sudden kidney problems. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may be fatal. A rare but life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. Do not take Jardiance if you are on dialysis or have severe kidney problems. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
So, what do you think?
Now I feel I can do more to go beyond lowering A1C.
Ask your doctor about Jardiance today.
April 18th is National Piñata Day, but you don't need to hit a papier-mâché unicorn to get stuff you want. Just become an AARP member. Get health tips, learn about the latest tech, have nights out at local restaurants, and more. Get your AARP membership today.
What's in a crunchy taco at Jose's Mexican Cafe and Cantina? 100% all beef, fresh lettuce, cheese, and sour cream, all in a softer, hard tortilla. Eat happy. Jose's Mexican Cafe and Cantina.
Look, P, I want to not like him, but I can't.
Not letting some snake slide his way into her heart.
I don't know what to do.
May I talk to you for a moment?
The Bachelorette on a special night Tuesday on ABC.
Good morning, Hawaii, and welcome back. Happy Monday. Time now 5:17. Here's a live look outside where the sun is slowly coming up. You can see right now our temperature is 73 degrees here in Honolulu. Our wind speeds are calm at the moment, and that's going to be the case throughout the day. We've got our trade winds really non-existent for today, coming in light and variable. The good news is by Tuesday we are looking at our trades returning, and they're going to stick around for the rest of the week. Let's take a look at our temperature. 70 degrees for Kahului, 66 for Lanai City, and over on the Garden Isle, your temperatures coming in at 73 degrees. It's going to be a warm day today. We've got our highs right around 89 to 90 degrees. Like I mentioned, our trade winds light and variable for today, about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So it's not terrible, but our trade winds bumping up as we head into Tuesday. And then by the weekend, we're looking at pretty breezy conditions. The reason our winds are light today, that high pressure that was fueling those trades getting bumped off by this disturbance, moving a little bit closer to the island. So as that high pressure makes its way further from the state, we are looking at our trade winds dropping off just a bit. In terms of rain, we're not expecting too much rain for today. Overall, a cloud and rain forecast, really not showing much moisture. Some clouds developing mainly for our leeward and interior sections for today, so we could see an isolated shower or two. This morning, though, we're waking up to isolated showers mainly for the southern half of the state for windward and Mauka spots. It's dry here on Oahu and for Kauai. We'll take a zoom in, though, to Maui County, where you've got a few windward showers coming in. Nothing heavy, and again, we are looking at relatively dry conditions really for the rest of our week. Hilo, you are waking up to some isolated showers as well. Let's take it island by island for today. Your temperatures getting up to the upper 80s for the Garden Isle. As we make our way over to Oahu, mostly sunny conditions this morning. That turns partly cloudy by the afternoon. And as we make our way over to Maui County, those temperatures for McKenna getting up to 90, Hana 82, same for Lanai City, and for the Big Island, a little more clouds in the picture, especially for the east half of the island, 84 for Hilo and 87 for Kailua Kona. Thinking about getting outside, here's a checkup of the surf. 2 to 4 for south, 2 to 3 for east and north facing shores, 1 to 3 out west. 89 to 94 is our daytime high. And for the rest of the week, again, things looking good. Our winds are light today. They start to pick up by tomorrow. And then as we head into Saturday, into Sunday, those easterly winds coming in nice and breezy at 10 to 25 miles per hour. That's a checkup of your weather. Let's take it out to the roadways with your traffic. H1 Managers Drive, things are looking good. That zipper lane moving along quite nicely this morning. We'll take a look a little bit closer into town. Here's Fort Weaver and Kolawaka, where you're starting to see that buildup as you make your way onto the freeway. Through Waikele, things are starting to pick up a little bit. Traffic is still flowing along quite nicely, though. That H1, H2 merge, starting to see some slowdowns there. And as you make your way onto the H2, things looking good as well. We'll take it out to the windward side, give you a quick look out there at the roadways. Here's Puli Highway and Pu'iwa Road. That's a checkup of your weather and your traffic. You're watching Good Morning Hawaii. We'll be right back after the break.
In today's Tech Bites, Microsoft's Project Scarlet.
That's the code name for the company's next generation gaming console. Microsoft says it will be twice as sharp as the average TV. It will be released in the time for the holidays next year, along with a new version of Halo. And it appears Netflix is getting serious about gaming.
Executives with the company will appear on a panel this week at the world's biggest gaming expo in Los Angeles. They're expected to discuss Netflix's plan to turn its hit show Stranger Things into a video game. And you may have noticed, in addition to your Google Maps screen, the app now has a live speedometer.
It appears in the lower left corner and can be turned on and off in Google Maps navigation settings. However, it is not fully functional with Android Auto.
And it may tell you if you're speeding.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a good day.
Didn't know what time it was, the lights were low. Oh, oh, I leaned back on my radio. Oh, oh. There's a starman waiting.
It's right in front of you. Bleu de Chanel, le parfum.
Experience the world's finest fragrance collection at Macy's, the gift destination.
What's more common than the common cold? Vaginal itch. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. Vagisil creams and wipes, the #1 itch experts, can help stop itch instantly. No itch, no shame. Vagisil, shameless about vaginal health.
Hi, I'm Courtney. I've been single for a long time because I'm always traveling.
Looking for a real relationship?
I love meeting new people, diving into different cultures. I'm not a game player. I like nice guys. So if you're out there, come find me.
Check out Match right now for free.
The Queens Medical Center, Hawaii's healthcare leader for 160 years.
In 1859, King Kamehameha IV and Queen Emma were inspired to build a hospital for the sick. Today, Queens has expanded to meet the growing needs of Hawaii, offering comprehensive heart care, advanced neurological services, a world-renowned cancer center, and Hawaii's only Level 1 trauma center. Caring for our community, the royal legacy continues. The Queens Medical Center, celebrating 160 years.
Hi, Maria. What's up?
Hi, I'm just calling to say hello. How are you?
Great. It's so good to hear your voice.
Staying connected has never been easier for people with hearing loss. Read captions of everything your caller says with a CapTel caption telephone.
Did you hear that Ed finally proposed to Anna?
People with hearing loss can enjoy the same ease, speed, and confidence as telephone callers everywhere. Learn more about this free service at hawaiicaptel.com.
In the fashion business, your income goes up and it goes down. So you need a banker who really gets it.
You know, in order to sell in the Japanese market, we had to come up with 2 sample lines at the same time. We didn't have money for that.
And our banker came through. Now we're in Japan, Santa Monica, and even London.
Our airport service is my kailoa. Himua, I hop into and from your heart. Our big on discount services for sure. Hai nai mai kapuana ea. Kawaii kaholo in the cab. We take you to and from the airport with big discount. Go dial 4222222 the cab.
We always wanted to move into our own home.
It took us a couple of years finding some place that was perfect for us. And we were just like, okay, how can we afford something like that?
Angela helped us understand the process bit by bit, treated us like family. That relationship was more than a financial transaction. That was the difference between the other places and Hawaii State Federal Credit Union. Oh my goodness! This is our superhero.
This is Good Morning Hawaii.
Welcome back on your Monday morning. Time now 5:25, and theater's biggest night, the 73rd Annual Tony Awards, took the stage in the heart of New York City.
That's right. The night was definitely packed with music, dance, and celebrations. Will Gans has a recap of all the theatrics.
At Broadway's biggest night, some big names taking center stage. Tina Fey and Jake Gyllenhaal making some big and not entirely serious announcements.
We are here to present the first award of the night, Worst Actor in a Musical. No, I'm sorry, I read that wrong.
Tony winner for Best Actor in a Play, Bryan Cranston, forgetting to plan ahead.
I just have to go to the bathroom.
I am bloated as hell, and I'm not gonna take it anymore!
Star Wars villain and Tony nominee Adam Driver getting called out during the Beetlejuice performance.
Hey, Adam Driver, you killed Han Solo! Not cool, bro.
And one of Black Panther's leading ladies, Denai Guerrera, presenting the award for Best Director of a Musical to Rachel Chavkin for Hadestown.
I wish I wasn't the only woman directing a musical on Broadway this season. There are so many women who are ready to go.
That theme of diversity stealing the spotlight all night long. Ali Stroker becoming the first actor who uses a wheelchair to ever win a Tony.
This award is for every kid who is watching tonight who has a disability, who has a limitation or a challenge, who has been waiting to see themselves represented in this arena. You are
But of course, with a host like James Corden, the night was full of laughs as well. The late-night host teaming up with last year's Tony's host to joke about the other major TV moment happening Sunday night.
Everyone would rather be watching Big Little Lies.
But unlike Big Little Lies, the Tony Awards brought the best of Broadway to life on live TV. Old faves like Oklahoma, new blockbusters like The Prom. The night's big awards going to The Ferryman for Best Play, and Hadestown taking the award for Best Musical. Will Gans, ABC News, New York.
Orpheus!
And James Corden's a good fit for that. I love carpool karaoke, so it's kind of cool to see him doing the Tonys.
Definitely an exciting night. Well, time now is 5:27. Your top morning headlines coming straight up.
But first, we're taking a live look outside at the Golden Gate Bridge. Shout out to the Bay Area there in San Francisco. Don't go away. Good morning, Hawaii. We'll be right back.
Most of us know that renewable energy is the smart and responsible choice for our future. High Power Solar believes that energy should stay with you, especially during a power outage. High Power Solar offers an uninterrupted energy source that will support all your household loads. In fact, it will last for days on a single charge. So don't worry and don't get left in the dark. Live your life uninterrupted. Call High Power Solar today, powering your life with or without the grid. Did you know cooling your home or business can be up to 70% of your electric bill? Join the latest movement in solar technology and fight the high cost of electricity with Nidon Clean Energy. Our SunTrack solar systems work to power any brand of air conditioner. Take advantage of tax credits before they are gone and lower your electricity bill by up to 40%. Install today and invest in your future. Stay cool and keep Hawaii green. Search Nidon online today. No approval needed from your electric company.
Be a part of the legendary KSSK Saturday morning show at Jade Dynasty Ala Moana. Join Mike, Karen, and Sweetie for food, fun, music, and prizes. Call for your reservation, 550-9299.
I'm Nicole Kalakau. I'm a trial lawyer at Levitt, Yamane & Soldner. There's no greater feeling than helping people who are at their lowest of lows. I hope you never need us. But if you do, we'll do all we can to help.
Is your Sears battery dead or dying and warranty expiring? Don't worry, we got you. Lex Brody's will honor Sears battery warranties and service all Sears bought tires for free. Combining over 55 years of award-winning experience on Oahu with world-class customer service, Lex Brody's makes your car care experience easy. Need a Fix Forever brake repair warranty? Need a free Uber ride to the mall? Need answers and solutions to your automotive needs? We got you. Please visit lexbrodys.com for details. And thank you very much.
Technology should be simple. Simple to connect with, easy to talk to.
Hey, BMW, where can I park?
And a joy to drive. Don't be driven by technology, drive it. The all-new BMW 3 Series. Hurry in to lease a 2019 BMW 330i sedan for $389 a month.
Now, from KITV4 Island News, this is Good Morning Hawaii.
Right now on Good Morning Hawaii, an alleged burglar on Oahu learns his fate after stealing a car with a young boy in the back seat.
The Iowa caucus may be more than 230 days away, but Democratic candidates descending on the state. I'm ABC's Serena Marshall with what they had to say coming up.
And a former Major League Baseball player recovering after being shot in the Dominican Republic. More on his condition just ahead.
Good morning. Welcome back to Good Morning Hawaii. Time now 5:31.
All right, well, let's take you right back outside with your weather and traffic. Mika, it's been pretty hot the last couple days, and it may stay that way, right?
You could say that again. Yeah, we've got our temperatures hot for today, coming down just a notch, but it's definitely still going to be hot. We got our winds on the lighter side, so not much relief in terms of our trades. We're taking a live look outside right now here in Honolulu. A beautiful start to our day. Those temperatures at 73 degrees, that dew point at 69, so feeling a little bit humid out there. Our wind speeds on the calmer side, and like I said, they're going to stay light for our Monday. Before before they pick back up by our Tuesday. Let's check out our temperatures across the state. 70 for Kahului right now. If you're waking up in Lanai City, 66 degrees, 71 for Hilo, and 77 degrees for Kailua Kona. Overall, we're looking at our daytime highs getting up to around 89, 90 degrees. Our wind speeds are light across the state, and they're going to range from about 10 to 15 for today. So not terrible, but they are on the lighter side. Before trades pick up about 10 to 20 for tomorrow. Taking a look at the big weather picture, this high pressure that we have off to our northeast getting pushed off by this front right here. So that was fueling our trades. That is pushing further away from the state. So again, our winds on the lighter side for our Monday. Not much in terms of rain. Checking out our cloud and our rain forecast, the green indicates that rain, and we're not seeing much of that. So overall, pretty dry and stable conditions for our week and for today. We are expecting a little bit more cloud development over our leeward interior sections as we head throughout our afternoon. So that could cause for some isolated showers, but again, not too much rain in the forecast. This morning, we're waking up to just a few windward scattered showers, mainly for the southern half of the state. So Maui, you've got just a few isolated showers, and over on the Big Island, Hilo waking up to just a few offshore showers making their way in over the island. Island by island, Kauai, your temperatures getting up to the mid to upper 80s. So Kapa'a getting up to 85 degrees. For Oahu, our temperatures out in Waimanalo, 84, 87 for Makaha, and 88 degrees for Kapolei. For Maui County, 82 for Hana and 85 for Ho'olehua. Mostly sunny as we're waking up this morning, turning to partly cloudy by the afternoon. Quick checkup on the surf. We are looking at 2 to 3 for north-facing shores, 2 to 4 out south, 2 to 3 for east, and 1 to 3 for our west-facing shores. 89 to 94 with those light and variable winds. And for the rest of the week, we are looking at really nice conditions. Really can't complain. A front could possibly bring us some more clouds and some showers as we head into Thursday for our windward and our Mauka spots. But besides that, we're looking at relatively dry conditions. That's your checkup of the weather. Let's take it out to the roadways with your traffic. Here's a live look outside on the Pali Highway where things are looking good. We'll take it out to the west side of Oahu. Here's a look at H1 and Managers Drive. You're starting to see a little bit more volume picking up, but overall things not too bad. Farrington and Fort Weaver, it's blurry, but you can see that that volume is picking up as you make your way onto the freeway. Taking it down to the H1, H2 merge, we are seeing more cars out there, so those brake lights starting to show up. Still clear through H1 and Middle Street. That's a checkup of your island weather and your traffic. Lindsay and Tom, I'll send it back over to you.
Hey, thank you, Mika. Honolulu police are investigating a major vandalism. This is a spree along the streets in Kalihi.
Yeah, police say nearly 20 cars had their tires slashed yesterday on Waiakamilo Road, Kaumoali'i, and McNeil Street. KITV spoke with one victim who says they wish there was more security in the neighborhood. Multiple officers responded on scene, but so far, no arrests have been made.
And we do have an update this morning on the ACLU of Hawaii's federal lawsuit against the State Department of Education over Title IX violations. In a May 29th filing, the DOE suggested the court drop the case because the girls filing the lawsuit graduated. And the Deputy Attorney General also said he was on vacation. But a week later, the ACLU filed an objection accusing the state of stalling. The ACLU filed this class action lawsuit last December, accusing the state of violating Title IX requirements to give girls the same sports opportunities as boys. The DOE has told KITV4 it cannot comment on pending litigation.
Well, the man accused of stealing a car with an 11-year-old boy inside is scheduled for sentencing today. 36-year-old Kyle Douglas pleaded no contest for stealing a couple's rental car in Kailua last June. He was later arrested after crashing it into another car in Kaneohe. Douglas is facing up to 11 years in prison.
Access to Pali Highway made traveling much easier for Oahu residents yesterday, and the new schedule allows contraflow hours every Sunday. The highway will be open for Honolulu-bound traffic from 6 to 11:30 in the morning, while Kailua and Kaneohe-bound traffic will be open between 12:30 in the afternoon to 6 at night.
Traveling halfway around the island every time I want to come to town, and this is my church, so Sundays is like takes twice as long.
And the State Department of Transportation hopes to reopen the entire Pali Highway in August. It's been mostly closed since February due to a rock fall.
And turning now to the Big Island, part of Hawaii Volcanoes National Park will be closed today for a little fire ant eradication work. The steam vents parking lot will be closed from 8 o'clock this morning until noon. The trail from the parking lot to the steaming bluff will also be closed. The park will be treating steam vents every 4 to 6 weeks until all those ants are gone.
Time now 5:36, and the Blood Bank of Hawaii is facing a supply shortage this morning.
That's right, and KITV4's Mackenzie Stasko live for us this morning on Young Street with more on why and how you can help. Good morning, Mackenzie.
Good morning, Lindsay. Tom, when school is out for summer, the Blood Bank of Hawaii says that's when the supply begins to run low, and that's because high school donors make up about 13% of the donations of the stock of blood. Now, donations are used daily for surgeries, for delivering babies, cancer treatments, and organ transplants. The Blood Bank needs about 200 volunteer donors a day to provide for the 18 hospitals throughout the state, and it also wants to stock up in case of a storm approaching the islands during hurricane season.
We're 3,000 miles from any landmass. We're incredibly vulnerable. And that's important to keep in mind, especially during hurricane season, because it's the blood on the shelf that saves lives. And it can't be grown on a farm. It can't be made in a lab. There's one source, and it's our amazing volunteer donors.
Now, to donate blood, you need to be at least 16 years old, be in good health, and weigh at least 110 pounds. If you have a cold, the flu, AIDS, or hepatitis B or C, you cannot donate blood. The blood bank is open Monday through Thursday from 6:30 in the morning through 6:30 at night, and Friday through Sunday from 6:30 in the morning until 4:30 in the evening. For now, Lindsay and Tom will send it back to you inside.
Thank you, Mackenzie. Time now 5:38, and we now turn to Florida, where a former Gators football captain does stand accused of murder.
Earl Antonio Joyner was arrested and charged with second-degree murder on Saturday for the 2016 killing of Hazel Obando. Annalise Garcia has the very latest.
Valentine's Day 2016.
They said they'll get him sooner or later. So.
Hazel Obando's body was found. A close friend of Obando chose not to show her face for her safety.
It was about time to catch him. He ran for too long.
The Fort Myers Police Department made an arrest in this cold case. Earl Antonio Joyner, the father of Obando's 2 children, is the suspected killer.
I don't even know how he could live with himself for what he did.
Friends of Obando say she and Joyner always had problems.
She was always scared of him, too.
Friends say the couple would get into fights and that he would get physically aggressive with her.
So many people knew that he did it, so I don't know why it took them so long.
NBC2 just spoke to Kelly Siegler from Cold Justice yesterday. The series worked closely with investigators from FMPD this past week to solve Obando's murder.
You try your hardest to be prepared, and you try your hardest to think of all the different ways to try and make the case stronger.
And it worked.
I am so happy that he got caught, that I got goosebumps all over my body.
Obando left behind 2 little girls.
She was a good mom, a very good mom.
They are now in full custody of their grandmother, Obando's mother.
And that right there, Annalise Garcia reporting. Former Boston Red Sox first baseman David Ortiz now in stable condition this morning after he was shot in the Dominican Republic. Multiple people have been arrested in connection with the shooting. A police spokesman says Ortiz was outside a bar in Santo Domingo when he was shot in the back. A friend of Ortiz was also shot as well, and according to reports, bystanders attacked the suspect, who is now in the hospital. And Hawaii native Shane Victorino, former teammate of Ortiz, tweeted out, quote, "Prayers for my brother at David Ortiz. Hearing all this news is so disheartening," end quote.
Yeah, certainly hope he is recovering. Well, turning now to a live look at our nation's capital right there. You see there Washington, D.C. A new poll of Democratic presidential candidates right now has former Vice President Joe Biden in the lead with 24%. But he was a no-show yesterday in Iowa, where the rest of the field took to the stage at the annual Hall of Fame dinner. Serena Marshall has more.
19 candidates, 1 state. Each hoping to make their mark in the state that plays a unique role in picking the next Democratic nominee.
They're ready for change, and I got a plan for that.
The Iowa caucus may be more than 230 days away, but the Democratic field is crowded. One way to hear what they all have to say, candidates speed dating. It was actually a fundraiser, but each one given just 5 minutes to make their pitch.
On all of these issues, there's a common sense way forward.
If you want a second date, go to timryanforamerica.com.
One candidate not playing, former Vice President Joe Biden, at his granddaughter's high school graduation. He's still leading in the latest Iowa poll, though, and while many of the candidates throughout the weekend took veiled swipes at Biden, they didn't shy away from taking direct aim at the president.
The president has completely overblown what he purports to have achieved.
Over the deal with Mexico to avert the president's promised tariffs. That includes Mexico sending 6,000 troops to their own southern border. It had been promised months ago, but the administration saying not at this number. Acting Homeland Security Secretary on Fox News.
Well, this is the first time we've heard anything like this kind of number of law enforcement being deployed in Mexico to address migration.
On Sunday, President Trump renewed his tariff threat, writing on Twitter, if their border deal fails, they can, quote, always go back to their previous very profitable position of tariffs. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
And in news around the nation, top Democratic leaders are launching a series of hearings this week on Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report, and they're intensifying their focus on the Russia probe and picking up the pace on an investigative path that some hope leads to impeachment of the president. And the hearings will focus on the two main topics of Mueller's report: obstruction of justice and Russian election interference. The Aloha spirit is taking center stage in Washington, D.C. this week.
Yeah, D.C. is a place that could use a little aloha, right? Well, the festivities kicked off yesterday with the annual King Kamehameha lei draping ceremony at the U.S. Capitol. Our Washington correspondent Matt Nadler takes us there.
Inside the Capitol Visitors Center, you'll find the King Kamehameha statue, and groups from Hawaii and the Washington areas are making sure everyone knows who the king was and what he still means to the Hawaiian Islands.
Kamehameha was the first ali'i, the first king to unify all of the Hawaiian Islands.
It just gives us pride and honor in recognition of his accomplishments and also the accomplishments of the state.
And one by one, each group paid tribute to King Kamehameha, draping a lei on the king's right arm, marking the 50th anniversary of the statue's commemoration at the Capitol. William Farias was at that ceremony in 1969 when Kamehameha was in Statuary Hall. 50 years later, he's back again, carrying a lei to the statue that's now in a much more visible location.
Boy, it makes me feel good. It made me feel bad when I see him in the back.
Honoring King Kamehameha with a statue is significant. Each state can pick just 2 people to memorialize in the Capitol.
As well as the King Kamehameha, the St. Damien statue was also presented April 15th in 1969.
But the ceremony is about more than just the king. It's about Native Hawaiian culture, tradition, togetherness, and of course, aloha.
We're lucky here in the nation's capital to have a really vibrant and really big Hawaiian community on the East Coast.
This is the first of several Hawaii-themed events on Capitol Hill this week. In just a few days, several business leaders will be flying into Washington, joining Senator Mazie Hirono for the annual event known as Hawaii on the Hill. In Washington, Matt Knadler, KITV4 Island News.
And a reminder, tomorrow is King Kamehameha Day. It's a state holiday. That means here on Oahu, the bus will operate on a state holiday schedule. The People's Open Markets will be closed, as well as all satellite city halls and driver licensing centers. All on-street parking will be free, except for meters on Kalakaua Avenue along Queen Kapiolani Park. And the time now, 5:45. A glitch ground some flights over Hawaii around the weekend.
Yeah, see which airline was affected by the temporary delays. And Mika's got a look at our weather. Mika?
For today, our trade winds are light, but I'll let you know coming up when they'll return. Before we go to break, we want to leave you with a photo sent in from Rico. Speaking of King Kamehameha Day, he sent in lots of beautiful photos there. We're watching Good Morning Hawaii. We'll be right back after the break.
KITV4 Island News, sponsored by Aloha Pacific Federal Credit Union.
We work hard to put a smile on your face. As a member of Aloha Pacific Federal Credit Union, you get surprisingly low rates on loans. So you can buy that car or house, pay for major expenses, or consolidate debt. We treat your money like we treat you, with Aloha. And you get expert advice for a better financial future. When you have Aloha, anything is possible. Visit a branch or alohapacific.com.
Do you love the San Francisco Giants?
And how does this sound? You could sit in the owner's seats at AT&T Park in San Francisco.
That's a home run.
Giants at Dave & Buster's on Thursday, June 20th at 4, and enter for a chance to win 2 VIP tickets, hotel, and air on Alaska Airlines. Go to the best place to watch the games and play the games at Dave & Buster's for a chance to win. Sponsored by CBS Sports Radio, Alaska Airlines, and Dave & Buster's.
I'm an ice cruncher, so I was excited about all new Colgate Total. It has sensitivity relief, so I don't have to give up doing what I love.
Aren't we lucky?
New Colgate Total. Do more for your whole mouth.
Mario Lopez, Average Andy.
Andy was kind enough to volunteer to play against Mario.
Hold up, the battle of the summer.
Losing ain't an option.
How do you like these apples? Hey. Plus, we're walking.
This is neat.
With Kevin Nealon.
Let me check my GPS.
That thing will have you going in the river.
Next new
Ellen, weekdays on KITV.
Pack your bags and be ready to go to Las Vegas instantly with Vacations Hawaii and KITV4 Island News. Enter at KITV.com and watch Good Morning Hawaii to see if you're the winner. Be ready to go to Vegas with Vacations Hawaii that week. Pack your bags. We go Vegas.
The signs are everywhere. Charles in Waipahu saved over $390. Lucette in Honolulu saved over $450. Call 92-DIETRICH and save.
KITV4 Island News, sponsored by Dietrich Insurance.
Welcome back and happy Monday. Time now is 5:48. We've got beautiful weather to start off our work week. Right now we do have light winds though, and they're going to stay light throughout our Tuesday. Light and variable, ranging from about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Right now in the single digits for the most part across the state, and we are expecting our trades to return. That's the good news by tomorrow. They're going to last throughout our week. We're not seeing too much in terms of rain, just a few trade showers coming in for windward areas of the southern half of the state. So Maui and the Big Island, you're seeing just a few offshore scattered showers. Sunshine to start off our morning, turning partly cloudy by the afternoon. Overall, things are looking good. Those temperatures for the Garden Isle getting up to 84 degrees. Here in town, our daytime high shaping up around 87. Those easterly winds coming in about 10 to 11 miles per hour as we head into our afternoon. For Kahului, lots of sunshine. It's going to be a hot one for you again. So those temperatures getting up to 89 degrees. And as we make our way over to the Big Island, Hilo, you are looking at partly cloudy conditions, turning mostly cloudy as we head into our afternoon. 76 degrees as we're heading into our morning, and then those temperatures going to creep up to around 82 by the afternoon. Out on the surf, 2 to 3 for east and north facing shores, 1 to 3 for west, 2 to 4 for our south. We're tracking a couple of swells, so we've got a south-southwest swell that's rolling in for our weekend, and then a smaller northwest swell heading in on Thursday. Temperatures getting up to around 89 degrees. Lots of sunshine this morning, partly cloudy by the afternoon. Winds are light. They start to pick up on Tuesday, and then by the weekend, we're looking at nice and breezy trades. That's a checkup of your weather. Let's take it out to the roadways with our traffic. Drive times as you're making your way in from Hawaii Kai to Honolulu, 18 minutes, 74 if you're coming out from Waianae to town, and just over a half hour if you're making your way out from Ewa Beach. We do have a couple of accidents to let you know about. This is in Waimanalo, the first one. We do have an accident on Kalanianaole Highway at Tinker, so just a heads up for that. We've got HPD on scene and EMS is on the way. And then out in Kalihi, we do have a downed pole, so that's blocking the road. It is shut down between Numana and Nalaniahea, so just a heads up for that. We'll take a look though at Kalanianaole Highway, where things are looking okay, but again, just a heads up for that accident out in Waimanalo, excuse me. Now we'll take it out to the west side of Oahu, taking it out H1 Managers Drive. Things are looking okay, not too bad. As you make your way closer to the freeway though, Farrington and Fort Weaver, we're seeing lots of volume out there. And as we make our way closer to town, H1, H2 merge starting to pick up. H1 and Middle Street, smooth sailing. That's a checkup of your weather and your traffic. Lindsay and Tom, over to you.
All right, thank you, Mika. Time now is 5:51, and NASA is opening up the International Space Station to tourists.
Yeah, pack your bags, and a ban on China's Huawei may be delayed. Jane King is at the NASDAQ with those stories and more in today's Tech Report.
The White House's acting budget chief is pushing for a delay in implementing key provisions of a law that restricts U.S. government's business with Huawei technologies out of China, citing the burdens on U.S. companies that use Huawei technology. Now, the U.S. believes that Huawei collects secrets on sensitive U.S. technology. The rules, the chief says, could lead to a dramatic reduction in the number of companies that will be able to supply the government and would disproportionately affect U.S. companies in rural areas where Huawei gear is popular that rely on federal grants. Well, NASA will allow tourists to visit the International Space Station starting next year. But this adventure will not come cheap. NASA is charging around $35,000 per night. That's on top of the $50 million or so that SpaceX and Boeing are expected to charge for their journey there. The agency can only accommodate up to 2 short-duration private astronaut missions each year. Well, Google employees upset about its YouTube division. They've started a hashtag #NoPrideInYT because they say YouTube was slow to ban a creator for using homophobic language. They're mad at YouTube for failing to curb harassment and abusive language and adhering to policies that fail to protect members of the LGBTQ community. And Microsoft offering big discounts on the Xbox One console and games right now to celebrate the year's biggest gaming events, the Electronic Entertainment Expo. Now, Xbox One X consoles are $100 off. Xbox One S bundles are $50 off, and hundreds of games are on sale as well. And those deals are available online at stores and at other retailers like Walmart, Best Buy, GameStop, and Amazon till June 17th. From the NASDAQ market site in Times Square, I'm Jane King with your Tech Report.
All right, we're turning now to some news around the islands. Back here at home, Hawaiian Airlines flights are back on track today. On Saturday, it grounded some flights because there was a software problem that affected its GPS. Boeing 717 aircrafts were affected. Hawaiian Air says it had to make some mandatory upgrades that are required by the FAA, and that's when that problem started. But it says the fleet there is now fully restored. Good to see that. Well, a guardian of the galaxy joining the Schwarzenegger family will show you the newlywed celebrity couple.
And we have a preview of the latest Star Wars installment, the video game release that leads up to the newest film. We'll take a look in the Hollywood Minute. Stay with us.
Sponsored by Levitt, Yamane & Soldner, Hawaii's personal injury law firm.
Robin was a passenger in a golf cart that flipped over because the golf course didn't maintain the path.
Fractured my spine and, like I said, my clavicle and my ribs. They told me they were sending me to Queens Medical Center, and then I had surgery the next day. My husband originally felt that, of course, these people are going to do the right thing, and when he realized that he was getting nothing from them, that's when he called Mr. Levitt.
Robin is a nurse, and so she understood the gravity of the injuries that she had sustained, but she also understood that she needed some legal help to be compensated for what had happened to her.
When you're stuck and being sick, you don't know what to do next. And it's great that I had a guy like Mr. Levitt who would actually say, this is what needs to be done next. I'm not an expert, he is.
Call Levitt, Yamane & Soldner if you need help.
They actually reach out, they give you a hand, pull you up, and get you where you want to be.
December 30th is National Bacon Day, and who doesn't love bacon? From bacon to turkey bacon to Jill who brings home the bacon. Looking sharp, Jill. In fact, we support all you out there bringing home the bacon. That's why AARP is here to help you find work, stay competitive where you are, cheese, or switch careers. We're even turning dream jobs into like real-life awake jobs. So go get your slice and let AARP help. Take on today and every day with AARP.
From the moment you leave the beaten path and walk through our palm tree grove, you are greeted with aloha and treated like ohana. Come encounter an authentic Hawaiian experience at Paradise Cove, Hawaii's premier kama'aina luau. Enjoy Hawaiian games, live music, hula lessons, canoe rides, all topped off with a stunning sunset backdrop. As you delight in delicious Hawaiian food and colorful entertainment from across the Pacific. Make your reservations today by visiting paradisecove.com. Paradise Cove, Hawaii's best luau.
How does Kumon give your preschoolers a head start in school? Math and reading skills are just one part. Kumon kids also learn how to be good students from day one, entering school prepared to focus, pay attention, follow directions, and more. Kumon, where smart kids get smarter.
Be a part of the legendary KSSK Saturday morning show at Jade Dynasty Ala Moana. Join Mike, Karen, and Sweetie for food, fun, music, and prizes. Call for your reservation, 550-9299.
This is Good Morning Hawaii.
Welcome back to Good Morning Hawaii. The time now is 5:56, and we'll get back outside.
Yeah, Mika's got a look at our weather and traffic. What's going on? Mika's been pretty hot the last couple.
It has been hot. We're going to take a look, though, at our roadways, where we do have a couple of accidents that have popped up. A heads up to our east side drivers out in Waimanalo. We've got police on scene. There's an accident that involved a moped, police say. It's on Kalanianaole Highway near Tinker Road. Not causing too many backups. You can see the roadway's still green, so no major roadways, no road closures, excuse me, are in place. But again, that is in Waimanalo on Kalanianaole Highway near Tinker Road. We've also got an accident out in Kalihi. That's closing down Numana Road through Nalaniahea due to an accident. So just a heads up for that as well. Let's take a look out at our roadways right now. Here's a look at H1 and Waikele as you're heading into town right now. Not looking too bad. We'll take a look at our H1, H2 merge where traffic is starting to build up just a bit. Here's a look at Mauna Loa Freeway. Roadways are looking pretty clear. H1 and Middle Street, we don't have too much volume to tell you about. And as we take it on out to the windward side, let's check out our roadways right